Hi, everyone. My name's Sam Mooneyham. I'm the Director of Student Teaching at Converse University, and I'm here to offer you some information on resources and tools that we will be using during clinical and other field experiences like student teaching. And hopefully, this video is something that you can return to if you've got some questions, but always feel free to reach out to me if you have some problem that is preventing you from getting access to something that you need, and we can figure out where the problem might exist, and we can get that corrected for you. But in general, I think that you've had enough experience with items like Canvas and student learning and licensure that you are a seasoned pro at it. That's not to say that there won't be glitches that are completely outside of your control, because sometimes things get crazy at student learning and licensure, and they can drive you crazy trying to figure them out. And so if you reach that point, let me know so that we can figure it out together. And I know I've been there myself, and I will call their help number and learn that it wasn't me, it was them, which that seems to be the case with a lot of things in life. We spend a lot of time and energy thinking that something is us, and it's completely not us. So, in this video, I want to just familiarize you or reintroduce you to the tools that we're going to be using specifically during student teaching, but also several of them are used. Canvas and student learning and licensure are used during your clinical field placements as well. And even if you are not currently student teaching or planning to student teach very soon, you might still find it beneficial to scroll through the student teaching website, because it has a lot of resources and a lot of information that if you're feeling a little apprehensive about how much there is to do during student teaching, it could mitigate some of that overwhelm and help you to feel better prepared just by taking a look at it in advance. Not much changes from semester to semester except for dates. So, if you know that you're not going to be student teaching for, say, another semester, another year, you can still benefit from taking a look at that student teaching website. So I'm not going to share my screen for Canvas explanations. I will just say that our Canvas page, and just a little, maybe put a pin in that for a moment and walk back for a moment to say, if you are student teaching, you also need to register for your section of student teaching. It might be EDU 412A or SED 512F. So you need to register through the means that you have registered for other courses in the past, so that you get credit for the class and also that you show up on the Canvas page too. That's very important, but also very easy to completely let slip your mind, because by this time you have requested a placement for student teaching through Mrs. Dunn, and gotten placed at hopefully the school that you like, and you have applied to student teach to the State Department of Education. So it feels probably like you've done all of the things, and registering to student teach might be the thing that has slipped your mind. Not a big deal. You can go back and do it, and it just takes a few minutes, but make sure that you've done that. I have gone through and tried to make sure that everybody who I know to be student teaching this semester, this coming semester, is also in the Canvas page. Make sure you register for the correct section of student teaching. For example, if your area of certification is going to be special education multi-categorical, you wouldn't want to enroll in the section of student teaching for special education learning disabilities. So confirm that all of the things are correct for you, and I will go through and try to do the same so there's no surprise. But again, even if we realize, oh no, that section isn't the correct one, we can fix that. So Canvas is going to be used for some, but not all assignment submissions this semester, this coming semester. In the student teaching handbook, there is a section on all of the assignments and activities that you need to complete and submit during the semester. Also, it is indicated beside each of these assignments and activities where you will submit this, whether it is going to be in Canvas or if it's going to be in student learning and licensure. So take a look at that. If in doubt, you can refresh your memory, and if nothing else, you can check Canvas, and if you don't see an assignment listed there, it's probably going to be something, or it is going to be something that needs to be submitted in student learning and licensure. So you can just kind of process of elimination that as well. That works. Make sure that you do submit all of the assignments and activities, because I keep a spreadsheet during the whole semester and I check off everything that you do, because these items are either required by Converse, or I won't say more important, but maybe even more officially for the your career, the State Department of Education requires that we be able to, or I be able to confirm that you have completed and or submitted some kind of activity or documentation. If not, I can't recommend you for passing student teaching. So it is very important for you to stay on top of those things. And you can check yourself in Canvas and student learning and licensure that you have submitted something. Also, about midpoint or a little after the midpoint of student teaching, I begin sending you emails saying, here's what I've received from you on my end. Here's what I still need to receive from you. Check your records and correct me if I'm wrong, because that sometimes happens. I will completely overlook that, yes, you have included this document, and or maybe you have submitted it and it has been since the last time I checked. So feel free to say, no, I have submitted this, or hey, I completely forgot that I needed to. So I want to keep you on track. And so expect a lot of emails from me, especially as we are winding down with student teaching. It isn't because I think you're being a slacker, it is because there's so much that you're trying to keep straight and get done that I want to provide you just a little update as often as I can without being really annoying, so that when you get to the end of the semester, you're done. All you're thinking about is graduating and finding a job and being wildly successful and happy. So Canvas, check Canvas for announcements, um, submit assignments there. I think that's about it. You are well experienced with Canvas related things. So if you happen to hit any brick walls with submitting anything or need a hand, let me know. So again, Canvas is one of the resources that will be used during student teaching and also your clinical experience. The second resource that is used is student learning and licensure. Now, if you have gone through your educator preparation program at Converse, you have already used student learning and licensure. You already have an established account through student learning and licensure. If, and I know that this can sometimes be the case, if you have moved from another institution and you have not used student learning and licensure yet, then you probably would prefer to know how in the world to access it. And so I am going to share my screen now and just walk through a quick how-to guide and for student learning and licensure, which also includes what to do if you encounter any problems. And and also, I imagine your mentor teacher will, or mentor teachers, because I know some people have double placements, they might ask you, hey, can you help me with getting started with student learning and licensure, or what is this? And feel free always to direct them to me, because you've got a whole lot going on. But if you are feeling very magnanimous and you want to just give them a quick tutorial, then this could help you as well. So you are not a mentor teacher, so we don't need to spend any time here, unless you just want to review it on your own. I'm going to include this slideshow along with this video. And by the way, I am also providing a video resource for mentor teachers as well that will include this. So you don't need to feel solely responsible for bringing them up to speed with student learning and licensure. So if you need student learning and licensure help for any reason at any time, you can go about it a couple of ways. I prefer to call the number because I can get my problem taken care of within minutes, as opposed to sending them an email and waiting for a response and maybe sending them follow-up information. But just depending on how you prefer to communicate, you can choose to call their help number or email them. And I have their number saved in my phone because for a while when I was learning about student learning and licensure, I called them daily, multiple times a day sometimes. So if you have not had experience with student learning and licensure, let's say you are transferring in, doing student teaching, or clinical experience, and you need access to student learning and licensure, if you are an undergraduate, you should be able to go to the bookstore and they will have a code for you. If you are a graduate student, you can still go to the bookstore and get a code, pay for it, but the bookstore charges approximately $50 more for this service than if you were to just go directly through the Student Learning and Licensure website. And I say that because I know that convenience, it's nice to just be able to go over and pick up a code from the bookstore. But I also did not want to fail to mention that that comes at a $50 additional fee. And I find that it's really just as easy to and quick to go to the website and activate an account than through the bookstore. So, whichever you prefer, I want you to be informed about whatever direction you happen to take. Let's see what else. I think that might be it as far as how to activate your account. You have to use your Converse email account, um, and and really, I think that's it. It's you go to the website, you click all the buttons saying you want to activate your account, and then it should open right up to your courses that you're enrolled in, which for some of you, it might just be the semester directed student teaching. Think that might be it in terms of student learning and licensure. Um, I will say, as far as assignments are concerned, and this isn't specific to student learning and licensure, but really specific to your program of study, some programs include additional assessments or documentation or activities, um, such as special education. Dr. Guiones has several additional assignments, and if you are not in that program, let's say you're in middle level ELA, you wouldn't be expected to complete those additional special education assignments. But just know that depending on your area of certification, your program, course program, there might be some additional things that you would submit. If you have any questions about those, please see your program director. So I mentioned Dr. Gionis. if that is your area of focus and you've got a question about one of those additional assessments, then let her know because I don't want to give you wrong information. That would be just terrible. Uh, if you need me to run interference and ask on your behalf, then I'm happy to do that. But I tend to think that getting information directly minimizes the opportunity for confusion and miscommunication, and I don't want to do that to you. I'm going to share my screen one more time to um, show you let's see, I can't talk and do things at the same time. So let me just be quiet for a moment, get my act together here, pull up the Converse student teaching website. Okay, so this is something that really is focused on student teaching, but isn't exclusive to student teaching. Well, it is, but we we are very inclusive and we want to invite everybody who is interested to take a look at this site. But really, it's the mentor teachers and student teachers who are going to find things like different forms, different schedules, that kind of thing here for you. So if you are wondering where to go for different items, like different forms that you might need. If you realize, oh, I need to turn in whatever form, um, it's going to be here. If you are wondering about how do I even take over my mentor teachers' classes and when do I begin handing those classes back, there is a flow of that timeline of when to start taking on those classes and when to release them again. I will say that that ultimately is at the discretion of you and your mentor teacher because there is enough wiggle room in the semester. You have a 60-day requirement. And so within that time, you and your mentor teacher can determine if you want to just jump right in and start teaching one class, or if you want to wait and observe for a period of time, whatever you think is going to work best for your situation and ultimately for the students with whom you're working, then that is your choice to do so. But if you would like some ideas and recommendations, you can find those here. Um, Likewise, there is a recommendation for when different observations occur. So all of that's here. There's a section on the capstone presentation, which we will dive into in a different video because the capstone presentation is your time to shine. It is the time where you get to present the research from your SLO or SLO, depending on which school district you're in. I've always said SLO, but I know some people say the SLO. It's the Student Learning Objective Project. So there is information here like what is this thing? What template do I need to use? I will also be providing you some example SLOs and example capstone presentations because I know for me, it always kind of helps to see an exemplar, not to copy it, but just to get a real sense of whether I'm on the right track. So I want to provide that for anyone who similarly feels like that could benefit them. There's a section here on removal from student teaching, which truly is not at all the direction we want to go. And this too will be the topic of another video. And this is probably actually something that we will talk about face to face because it is just that important. So this is something that probably is going to exist exclusively during our face-to-face student teaching orientation. But it might help to just take a look at this section and know, okay, here are the things that I definitely want to avoid. in order to have the most successful experience. Uh, Removal from student teaching is not something that is done quickly or lightly, but after a great deal of conversation, interventions, and communication among school districts, Converse, and student teachers. So take a look at that, and if you have any questions going in, feel free to ask those. Uh, in brief, we are guests always in the schools in which we are completing our field placement. And if at any time any one of us behaves in a way that threatens to erode the trust or uh, harm the learning process of students or endangers anyone or is unethical, disrespectful, then that is something we take seriously. And also schools, school districts, mentor teachers have every right to request the removal of a student teacher. And so, and there have been some cases where a situation has been so dire that there is not that long intervention process. It is a matter of this is not a beneficial placement and it is ceased effective immediately. We never question mentor teachers, schools, school districts when they ask for a removal, because again, we are their guests and we want to maintain really strong relationships with them. So, again, if you've got any questions, always feel free to ask about that. We're going to spend a good bit of time on how to create the best possible experience that makes uh, removal from student teaching not even a remote possibility, and not to alarm anyone at all, because most every single experience that I have been a part of has been a roaring success. So that is, I believe, everything that I wanted to share with you during this video. And I hope that that wasn't just too much. But if you want to go ahead and start taking a look at any of these resources, go for it, because it's only going to help you down the road to feel like everything is much more manageable. I look forward to seeing you very soon and looking forward to getting to celebrate with you and encourage you during this final important leg of your teacher preparation program.